The other day I was thinking, I do that sometimes, and I was thinking about SnowFlake 33 and just different things that I might want to talk about. And one of the ideas that I came up with was this. My tastes in music are very eclectic. Okay, I draw from a lot of different influences, and most of the music I like is probably hated by most people and probably looked down on by a lot of people. So, after thinking about it for a little while, actually, after thinking about it for a long while, I kind of put this together in my head, okay? So, hear me out. Okay, my wife and I have always had this philosophy when it came to music or art or business or anything, and it's this expression we use. We say good is good, okay? And what good is good means is that it doesn't matter if what someone's doing is popular. If they're doing it well, then good is good. You know, if someone is good, it doesn't matter how many people like what they're doing. And that goes for politics or music or art or movies or education, philosophy. Good is good, okay? And even if we don't like what someone is putting out into the world, if it's being done well, then good is good. Even if you don't like it, it's being done well, okay? And I've always kind of felt that way. Now, I'll admit that my background as a musician is very limited, okay? I don't have any illusions about my technical abilities, or I'm not doing anything spectacular, and I know that, okay? But one thing I've come to understand about myself is that when I listen to music, especially when I listen to music, when I'm taking something in, I kind of listen to it from maybe 4 or 5 different perspectives. Now, hear me out, okay? I do make music by myself, and I do perform all of the different instruments by myself. Not really well, but adequately, okay? But for each one of those instruments, I have different influences, okay? So sometimes when I'm listening to music, I'm listening to the guitar player because there's a part of me that is a guitar player. Even though I may not like what the drums are doing or what the rest of the music is doing, I do listen to the guitar and I'll take from that whatever I need, okay? And that goes for all the different instruments. So as a drummer, there's this whole chunk of music that I draw from, okay? As a bass guitar player, there's a whole chunk of music that I draw from. As a singer, there's a whole chunk of music that I draw from. As a guitar player, again, there's this whole chunk of music that I draw from. And then as a producer and an engineer, there is music that I draw from, okay? I think that you can probably understand what I'm saying, right? So my tastes in music are very different than a lot of the people that I know. And over the course of my life, I've had a tendency to be mocked and sometimes even looked down on. And it's not really a big deal, but when you're a musician and you're dealing with other musicians, the music you like and the music that you regard as good is currency in these relationships with other musicians. And I think that, among other reasons, that's one of the reasons why a lot of my relationships with other musicians have been strained. Because they don't understand why I like something. And it's really hard to explain something like that to someone. quickly. And especially if they're closed-minded. I'll give you a very good example. And this is an example to me of good is good. And you can roll your eyes at me if you want to. I understand. It's been happening my whole life. But there's a song by the group Warrant. Yeah, that's right. Warrant. The hair metal band from the 80s and the 90s. That song is called Uncle Tom's Cabin. Okay? Now, pretty much everybody I know hates that song. They hate that band. They hate everything about them. And as soon as you mention their name, you get laughed out of the room. Okay? But I come from a different way of thinking. And my way of thinking is good is good. Okay? So when you remove from the group Warrant the image and the hair and the leather pants, and you just listen to the song, you just listen to the production, you cannot deny that it is done well. That good is good. It is good for what it is. And that song in particular is one of those songs that I draw from as a producer and as an engineer. When you listen to Uncle Tom's Cabin and you listen to my song, A Dark Blue Arc, off of the Pipe Choir debut CD, you may not notice it, but in those two songs, there are some very strong similarities. Now, I can feel you rolling your eyes at me. I can feel it. But do me this favor, okay? If you're capable of doing it, if you're open-minded enough to do it, give yourself a good is good exercise and listen to the song Uncle Tom's Cabin in headphones, really loud as you can stand it, okay? And forget what they look like. And forget what you know about the band Warrant, okay? And just listen to the song. And listen to what's happening in the song with the production, okay? You know, you have this really kind of bluesy intro with the guitars, right? And even some banjo thrown in there, which is like really weird. And the song starts on this very low dynamic. And then as soon as the second half of the first verse kicks in, the whole mix just goes wide. It goes huge all of a sudden. And it's recorded really well. Everything is placed in the mix by these engineers and producers that are masters at producing music, okay? By that time in Warrant's career, they were in the best studios with the best equipment and the best people working on their records, okay? Good is good, okay? And to me, it doesn't matter if it's glossy or if it's pop music or whatever it is. Good is good. And if you can listen to that Warrant song, Uncle Tom's Cabin, and you can, in your mind, remove what you know about that band and all of the preconceived notions you have. You just listen to what they're doing. Not even to what he's saying necessarily. Just listen to what the music is doing. Okay? And if you can do that and you still don't like it, that's fine. I get it. And you might think it's the worst thing you've ever heard, and I understand. But for me, that's an example of good is good. It doesn't matter to me what they look like. Honestly, there is a large part of me as a man and as a musician that rejects the superficiality of our culture. I reject it outright. Good is good. I mean, I can give you a couple quick examples. Like as a drummer, I didn't come from the school of prog rock. I wasn't interested in how many drum fills I could do in a song, and it just didn't matter to me. Time signatures didn't really matter to me. I'm not impressed by that as a drummer. I've never have been. I mean, granted, there are some drummers in some prog rock bands, in most prog rock bands actually, that are good. Good is good. It might be music I don't like, but if they're playing it and it's done well, good is good. Okay? But an example of a drummer I do like is like Chuck Bisquits from Danzig. Okay? A clubber, someone who's killing the drums. That impresses me. Drummers that serve the song impress me. Okay? Not the guys who can do as much mathematics in a song as humanly possible. There's a place for that, and it's good, and I revere those drummers as good drummers, okay? But they don't do it for me. And then, like, as a guitar player, Eddie Van Halen. I listen to Van Halen a lot, and damn, good is good. I mean, they just are. And I don't care what era it is. I mean, this guy can play, and he does the most creative things with the guitar. I mean, good is good. Bass players. Okay, I'll tell you a bass player that I'm really impressed with is the bass player from Muse. I feel I can tell right away just by the way this guy is holding the bass, just by the way he's wearing the instrument and his body position when he's playing this instrument. This guy's good. This guy is good. I don't care what he's playing. He doesn't even have to play. I can tell by the way he's holding the instrument that this guy is good. Good is good. Doesn't matter if I like Muse. Doesn't matter. This guy's good. Good is good. So there you go, folks. I could talk about this for hours. And I probably will, because I like talking about it. It's fun. But for now, this is Mike Bostwick signing off. And remember, folks, if you want to keep what you've got to give it away. Take it easy.